Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Bree and today I'm going to be doing my Pan Those Eyeshadows update number 2. I don't have anything rolling out this month, but I am going to be rolling in a new eyeshadow anyways because I want to up the number of eyeshadows in this project to 5. Okay, so I'm going to hop right into the progress. I'm going to go in order from least used eyeshadow in the project so far to most used. That's not just this month, this overall total numbers. My least used eyeshadow so far is from my Hipdot Bikini Bottom palette, and it's the shade Best Shade Ever. I'll pop a picture of what it was looking like last update. Let me fold this back so I don't blind you. And it's this yellow shade right here. That's what it's looking like now. I'm going to put a closer and better picture of what these all look like right here this month, right after I popped the last month's progress. This I only used 2 more times for a total of 4 uses. I accidentally touched one of the other eyeshadows. For a total of 4 uses, so not a whole bunch of progress to show. I actually think it's kind of funny because out of this palette, this is what I have rolled in, but I've been using this a lot with one of my other shadows, and I feel like this eyeshadow shows more use than the one that's rolled into the project. But either way, I'm happy that I'm getting some use on other shades as well as my Pan Those Eyeshadows shade. The next shadow I have is from Colourpop, and it's the shade Hold Me Down, so I'll pop a picture of what it looked like last month. I used this an additional 5 times this month for a total of 7 uses, and here's what it's looking like now. I can't really get it to focus that well close enough. I definitely have a dip going on, but not a huge dip. I don't think I'm going to end up hitting pan in this because these Colourpop singles are so deep, but I am going to use it to 20 times and then I'll probably roll it out at that point. And then again with this palette, it's in this Colourpop She's a Rainbow palette. They're all singles, but I bought it as a setup palette with these shades. I've been using this shade a lot with my Pan Those Eyeshadow shade. And this one is starting to get a little teeny bit of a dip too, which is fun to see all of my palettes getting more love in addition to these Pan Those Eyeshadow shades I'm rolling in. Oh yeah, I forgot that I wanted to swatch these since I'm rolling in a new shade to see all 5 shadows together. The third shade I have is from my Colourpop Pretty Guardian palette. Oh, I wonder if I can get the little effect in there. Kind of. And it is the shade Silver Millennium. I'll pop a picture of what it looked like last month. And here's what it's looking like now. Still no pan. It's one of those Super Shock shadows. I think I've mentioned that before. I've been trying not to just dig straight down, but there is still a dip from trying to use it more evenly. Ooh, that picked up well. So here are the 3 shades so far. I did swatch those other 2. And this shade I used 4 times this month for a total of 9 uses. I've been really liking this shade as a topper shade or an inner corner. I'm wearing all of these today and I'm using this as my inner corner. The 4th shade I had in this project previously is from my Blue Blood palette, and it's the shade Ice Tray. I'll pop a picture of what it looked like last month. This shade is my most used shade from this month and in total. So this one I've used a total of 10 times, 6 times from this month. And oh, I gotta figure out how to not blind you. Ooh, here's what it's looking like now. It's this shade right here. I definitely have a dip going on this. I don't know if I'll be able to hit it pan by next update, but I think out of the ones that I have in now, this might be the only one that I actually hit pan on and not just roll out after that 20 uses, because the Hold Me Down shade, which was, oh, let me swatch this. Sorry, I got a little scatterbrained there. This shade I'm not a huge fan of because I have to build it up a lot, so it's sort of frustrating to use when I have other really great performing shimmers. This shade just seems really hard pressed, and I feel like the pans might be deep. I'm not sure because I don't have pan in that palette, just guessing. The Super Shock shade I mostly use as an inner corner, so even if I use it 20-30 times, I probably won't hit pan just because I don't use a huge amount of that. So I think this one might be the only one I truly hit pan on, but who knows, we'll see. So now we're on to the fun part, at least I think it's the most fun part, rolling in a new eyeshadow. So as I said in a previous update, I record on my phone, so I pulled up the random number generator on my laptop. I've got shades 1 through 911 because that's how many total eyeshadows I have. That's including all the things that I have pan on, so if I happen to roll something I already have pan on, I'll just re-roll. So let's try and not get a glare. God, 72. 72. So let me see what palette that's from and I will come back. Okay, so eyeshadow 72 on my spreadsheet is the 11th eyeshadow in this Cosmetics Zodiac palette. I'm leaning it back because I've depotted this and then put it back in, so it might be kind of loose. I'm gonna start counting with Sagittarius and go around the shimmers. If I roll this back in, I'm gonna go into the mattes, but it's just gonna be an outside shimmer shade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and it is Aquarius. I love this shade. It's so pretty. Here's a swatch on the finger. And there's what it looks like swatched out. It kind of has a little bit of a red base with more of a chartreuse kind of yellow gold flip on top. I feel like this is another shade that I might not hit pan on though. I've seen people hit pan on these, but because it's domed, I don't know if I'll be able to hit pan within 20 uses or even like pretty soon after 20 uses. We'll see how it goes, but I think I'm gonna roll in a 6th shade just because I'm having fun rolling in new shades. So back to the random number generator, going crazy and rolling a 6th eyeshadow into this project. It is 423, so back to the spreadsheet. I'm gonna see what palette that comes from. What was it? 423. 423 comes from Jeffree Star Blue Blood, so I already have that palette out. Eyeshadow 423 is the 12th eyeshadow in this palette. Ooh, my goodness, maybe I shouldn't have rolled in a new one. And it's this shade Flourishing, and it is a matte. So that's the 6th shade I've rolled in. It's the shade Flourishing from Blue Blood. That's exciting to have 2 from the same palette because then I get to work on an extra shade without having another palette out in the pile. It's a really fun color story. I feel like these yellows and the blue and green would be really pretty to go together too. And all these yellows together will make a good look. I've actually already used these 2 shades from Blue Blood together before. It was last month and I think I might have shown it or I was wearing it in last update. I'm really excited to come up with some looks with all these shades together. Okay, so now I'm going to get into the looks that I did this month. The first one I did was using these 2 palettes because I realized that the shade Hold Me Down is very similar to this shade Miracle Romance in the Pretty Guardian palette. So I'm going to pop pictures right here. I really loved those 2 together. I used this shade in kind of the crease in the outer corner, and then I used this shade Hold Me Down all over the lid, and they paired perfectly together. I'm definitely going to be recreating that look. The next look I did was also using Hold Me Down as a lid shade, but I went into my Modern Renaissance palette. That was my Pan That palette from last year, and I'm still trying to work on hitting bands on some of them, but I think I'm going to give up on Venetian Rose. That's the eyeshadow that I used in the outer corner and in the crease. I just don't really like the quality of that eyeshadow, and I feel like it's very similar to the shade Love Letter from Modern Renaissance, and I like how Love Letter performs better. I really like how this look turned out, but I think if I do it again, I'm just going to use Love Letter and skip Venetian Rose. The next look I did was mainly with Ice Tray from Blue Blood, so I put this shade Celebrity Skin kind of through the transition, and I did Ice Tray all over the lid, and then I used this NYX pencil in the shade Sapphire in the waterline, and I really liked that. I like that look, but I don't think that I would recreate it. The look after that, I also used the Blue Blood palette, but I used the shade Blue Blood on the outer corner and transition, and then I used Ice Tray all over the lid again, and then I used these 2 fun guys. It's like the mushroom party joke, whatever. This is the KVD Alchemist Holographic Transformer, and it's the Aquamarine shade. It's not going to show up well on here, but this is such a pretty topper. And then in the waterline for that, I used the e.l.f. Mint Melt eyeshadow stick in Mint For You. I really like these as eyeliners. I haven't used it as a full eye pencil yet, but I'm definitely going to do that. Maybe I'll try that with that new shade that I just rolled in right here. I've been eyeing that new blue pencil from, is it the Cookies and Dreams collection? That blue pencil is calling my name. These are really nice in the waterline. The next look after that was super simple. I just did a thick black wing on my eyelid, and then I used this shade Hold Me Down over top of the wing. It looked really cool because this is a purple base but a blue flip, so it really had that deep eyeliner with kind of a flash of color. I didn't think I'd be able to get a good picture of it, but I actually was able to capture it in the picture. The next look I did was also really simple. I'd been seeing a lot of people do kind of a neutral, cool brown outer corner and crease with a green or a blue on the inner 2/3, so I decided to do that with Ice Tray. So that's what that is. It just used kind of a random brown single in the outer corner and then this on the inner 2/3, and I really liked that. And then the last look I have to share is actually the one I'm wearing. I did it a little bit earlier in the month, so I'll pop pictures there, but I'm wearing this look again because I loved it so much. I have the shade Wumbo in the crease, so up on top, and then the shade Best Shade Ever right above that from this palette. And then from the Colourpop She's a Rainbow palette, I have Hold Me Down on the lid, and this purple shade Seeing Stars on the outer corner and lower lash line. And then I have Ice Tray kind of on the inner portion of my lower lash line, and then that Silver Millennium eyeshadow from the Pretty Guardian palette, this one right here in the inner corner. I really like how this look turned out, and I will probably repeat it again. Alright, and that wraps up my Pan Those Eyeshadows update number 2. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to follow along with this series, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!